We are celebrating a 4-year project coming to fruition, and that is for North Oaks Medical Center to be recognized as a Level 2 trauma center for the state of Louisiana. And we did this in response to a request from the Louisiana Emergency Response Network, which was set up by the state legislature to improve care out in the community and to be able to have a trauma center within 60 minutes of a patient needing our services. The way it'll benefit the community is that we now have trauma surgeons and OR teams and anesthesia staff in-house 24/7, 365 days a year. So we know that there are people alive today that otherwise several years ago may not have made it, because minutes count when you're in a life-saving situation, and by having one in this region, instead of having to be flown out to New Orleans or Baton Rouge, which were the only, actually New Orleans and Shreveport for a while, which were the only two areas where they had one, and then recently Baton Rouge got one as well. And so sometimes people passed away en route. Now patients are flying into us, and we can save their lives here. Good morning. I'm Michelle Sutton, and on behalf of the North Oaks Board of Commissioners, administration, and nearly 2,600 staff, 240 physicians, and over 300 volunteers, it is my honor to welcome you all here this morning as we officially share that North Oaks Medical Center has earned the right to declare that we have been officially verified and designated a Level 2 Shock Trauma Center for Region 9 in the state of Louisiana. We dedicate today's program an official announcement to our friend and colleague, Dr. J.W. Smith. Jay was our emergency department medical director, and he worked with Learn for 8 years to ensure Louisiana received the best emergency care our state could offer its citizens and to help set up a system for trauma care. Jay's unexpected passing has left a void in our hearts, but his spirit and passion will remain with us. Although Jay can't physically be with us here today, his fingerprints are all over what we will share. Representing the Dr. Smith family are his wife, Melanie, his brother, Chad, his sister, Penelope Brackett, and brother-in-law, Ted Brackett. Providing excellent emergency care is a family trait. Melanie also has worked with us for 26 years in the emergency department and is part of the trauma care team too. I would ask for a moment of silence to honor Dr. Smith. Thank you. We have a few other guests in the audience I would like to recognize. Our Board of Commissioners, Dr. Ann Carruth, Ron Macaluso, and Bob Barsley. Past board members, Dr. James Nelson, and Mr. A.J. Bacher. Since we have so many elected officials here and we're thrilled that you all are with us, in the interest of time, I would ask them to please stand as we recognize them as a group. If y'all would please stand. Thank you all for supporting North Oaks and celebrating today with us. Our journey to become a trauma center began about 4.5 years ago when Dr. J. Smith came back from a Learn board meeting and told me to expect a call from Yvette Lejeune and Dr. Bob Kasha. He said it was their goal to establish a verified Level 2 trauma center in each region. For those of you who may not know, Learn is the Louisiana Emergency Response Network that was set up under the state legislature in order to improve care out in the field, out in the community. North Oaks made their short list because of the outstanding care provided by our emergency department under Dr. Smith's leadership. Jay believed strongly we should do it, and his passion for improving lives in this region was infectious. We met with Learn's leadership, and the rest, as they say, was history. The Learn leadership was so confident that North Oaks needed to do this, they even referred Dr. Duchesne to us, who was this young hotshot trauma surgeon that we needed to talk to. So they found our first trauma surgeon for us, and Juan will tell you he too became enamored with us and the North Oaks family and joined as our first shock trauma surgeon and medical director. Many people don't realize that this hospital is the largest on the North Shore, and we have the second busiest emergency department by volume. We are close to 80,000 visits a year. Our proximity to the interstates of I-12 and I-55 make us the perfect location for this trauma center. We've treated people from over 20 different states through our trauma program in this past year and a half. Our board believed in our mission of improving lives every time with every touch. As a hospital service district, it's not always about the bottom line. It's about providing cutting-edge, evidence-based care to the citizens of the Florida parish. We will tell you this was a substantial investment in labor, equipment, and dollars. A great trauma program takes everyone, from the board to administration, to the surgeons, to the nurses, to the support staff, all the way to environmental services for us to be successful. So what does it mean to be a Level 2 trauma center? Plain and simple, it means that we're saving lives. People are alive today that otherwise may not be. Operating as a Level 2 designation means having trauma surgeons, OR teams, anesthesia crews in-house inside the medical center 24/7, poised on go, ready to respond at a moment's notice. When every minute counts between life and death, the people of the Florida parishes no longer have to be flown out to receive trauma care. Instead, they're flying into us. We are only one of 5 designated trauma centers in the state of Louisiana and the only one in Region 9. The American College of Surgeons sent 2 trauma surgeons to review our program in February. These 2 surgeons were astounded to see what we had accomplished in 2 short years. What they said was it was impossible for us to pass the first time and not to be disappointed. They fully expected us to have deficiencies. What they didn't know was that North Oaks, nothing is impossible here. Our team rises to the challenge, making the impossible possible. Not only did we pass, but we skipped a level and went straight to Level 2. The only difference between a Level 2 and 1 is research and graduate medical education. The North Oaks team and family is one to be proud of. The North Oaks family takes care of other people's families as if it were their own. Please sit back and enjoy to see what we have created.
I'm Willie Nichols, and I'm a trauma survivor, and the North Oak Trauma Team saved my life. By me coming to North Oaks, it gave me a new outlook on things at North Oaks about how the doctors, the nurses, they took me in like I was family. They didn't really treat me like a patient. They treated me like I was somebody in their family. And I really believe if it wasn't for them, I know God, worked through them, but if it wasn't for them, I just don't believe I would be sitting here today.
Our next speaker is Dr. Juan Duchesne, our Medical Director for North Oak Shock Trauma and Co-Medical Director of our SICU. Juan completed his internship and residency through LSU Health Sciences Center in New Orleans, where he also fulfilled a fellowship in critical care surgery and trauma. He is certified by the American Board of Surgery in General and Critical Care Surgery. He also serves on the Regional Commission of LEARN, representing Region 9, with hospitals greater than 100 beds. He has contributed to more than 80 publications of research in trauma care, and his main focus being resuscitation. To this end, he also serves on the editorial board of the Journal of Trauma and Acute Care Surgery. In addition, he is chairman of the Louisiana Committee on Trauma, director of the Trauma Branch under the Education Pillar of the National Committee on Trauma, and vice president of the Louisiana chapter of the American College of Surgeons. In addition, he is on the Pan American Trauma Society Board of Directors and was honored this year as a healthcare hero by the New Orleans City Business Magazine. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Duchesne to the podium.
Well, first of all, thank you for everybody that is here to be here, because this is amazing what accomplishment we as a team we've achieved. Obviously, this is amazing. Like I tell everybody, I have all those titles, but I'm daddy for my kids, and that's one of the biggest thing and biggest attributes that I have in my family, which is amazing. Before I start, I would like to mention quickly that we lost definitely one of our team members, but he's still with us here, Jay Smith, and I'm very thankful that you guys came here today, because I know that this is important. It was for him, and it is for him, and I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I would like to thank you to the executive team for everything that they do on a daily basis. With me, I know I'm not an easy cookie. Michelle is amazing, and she knows that, and she takes the time whenever I said I need to talk to you. She just have always the time to talk to me. Mr. Kathy, thank you so much for the great team you have here. And Shelly, where are you? Where are you, Shelly? Oh, okay. Thank you so much, because you're the filter. You clean my thoughts. And that helps a lot, and I appreciate that. To all the board members, remember the first time that we met, and I was about to just have a nervous breakdown, and you guys basically keep pushing. You guys are amazing, and I just need to mention that. Thank you so much for the support. To my team, which is right here on the first row, please stand so everybody can see you guys, please. And I got Rosemary to have well-dressed. Oh, look at that. You look beautiful. All of you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And all the crew, staff that basically on a daily basis, you guys see me always in the hallway and you guys talk to me. Thank you so much. And that goes from radiology, ER, police department, housekeeping, environmental services, for God's sake, thank you for everything you do, because every one of you guys play a key role in our success. So I would like quickly just to talk a little bit about what we've achieved and the definition of what trauma team means. A team is a group of people linking a common purpose. North Oaks Medical Center and the Shock Trauma Department have built a specialized trauma team that focuses on rapid assessment and definitive management for the injured patient. These team members have trauma-related certifications, training, and participate in performance improvement. Our trauma team is more than just a collection of people. There is a strong sense of mutual commitment that creates synergy, thus generating performance greater than the sum of the performance of its individual members. I never worked with an administration and team who is more dedicated to the key parts of our trauma mission, to promote and deliver the highest level of trauma care in a cost-effective manner through compassion, excellence, and continuous quality improvement. I'm proud of what we've accomplished as a team, and I'm proud of the level of care we are bringing to Region 9, to our community, to our neighbors, and to our families. I'd like to invite one of our trauma surgeons, Dr. Marquin Duke, to tell the story of one of our inspiring trauma survivors and how our dedicated team worked together to save his life. Please, Dr. Duke.
So as you saw on the video, hello, sorry, by the way, Marquin Duke. As you saw in the video, Mr. Nichols was one of our patients here. He came in on August 30th, around 5:45 in the afternoon. He had been activated as a level 1 trauma, which for us is the highest category for severity. So suffice it to say, he was very, very sick in dire circumstances. He was shot in the flank at close range. His vital signs were unstable, and he was very much going into shock. A massive transfusion protocol was activated, and what that is basically we mobilize the blood bank, we mobilize the team to serve the patient, and they bring blood in a very rapid manner in a lot of volume, so that way the patient doesn't decline in the process of us trying to figure out what's going on and what we need to do to fix them. So that was activated, and he received approximately 55 units of blood products, which is a lot. But fortunately, it worked. He was taken to the operating room where he underwent exploratory laparotomy to stop the bleeding and to sort of damage control in order to stop the other injuries that were going on. He was taken to the ICU where he remained in critical condition and required nurses to stay at his bedside continuously over a number of days. In fact, he spent 33 days in the ICU. After that, he spent 28 days on the general surgery floor. So he had a prolonged course. He was not a quick in and out. He was someone who was very, very sick for a long time, who needed a number of different things to be done to him for his care. While here, he had a number of surgeries on his abdomen in order to get him stabilized enough to go home. We set a goal, Mr. Nichols, to get him home by Thanksgiving dinner. That was one of the things that he really, really wanted to do, was to be home for Thanksgiving. Because of his attitude, his never give up attitude, he was able to make that goal. That, along with the commitment of our staff, we were able to get him home by Thanksgiving. He joined his family, and after 59 days in the hospital, was able to see home, see his own bed, which is something that we all take kind of for granted most of the time. Mr. Nichols is here today with his wife, Tammy, and is able to be home with his family. He continues to visit our trauma team, and I know a lot of people in the clinic know that he stops by every now and then just to say hi and just to kind of get a checkup. And one of the most endearing things, and something that we definitely did not expect and weren't anticipating at all, is that he brought us a plaque. And we want to say thank you once again for that. It's people like you that fuel us. It fuels our passion and our drive to improve lives. On behalf of the trauma team, I would like to say thank you for the following caregivers for their exceptional care and dedication to our patients, and to the staff that helped us save Mr. Willie's life. And again, there are a number of people who helped who I will not name, and that list would be entirely too long for this program. But I will say, to any that I leave off, I apologize, but I would like to recognize a few people who are here with us today. From our emergency department, Terry Tillis. And can you please stand when I say your name? Terry Tillis. Terry here? Okay, there you go. Devin Neal, Chandra Fisher, Stuart Thomas. From our surgical ICU, Aaron Gill and Daryl Ippolito. From our OR, Lori Northcutt, Laura LeBlanc, and Trudy Kaiser. From our anesthesia team, Chad Majue and Jody Deming. And just as an aside, we have an awesome anesthesia team who are dedicated to the trauma service, and they provide excellent care. Our shock trauma NP, Aaron Bateman. From the general surgery floor, Brett Graham. Is Brett here? Respiratory therapist, Jada Davis, Jeffrey Mayu, and Kyle Shelby. From occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, Chad Spears and Erica Weary. One of our CT techs, Gerald Magliolo. I'm going to butcher it. Magliolo. I said it right before we got up there. From Ortho-Neuro, Paige Cortez, Kayla Bennett, and Megan Stevens. Case manager, Angela Gottschalk. From blood bank and lab, Bonnie Longmire. Thank you again for your dedication to improving lives every time with every touch. I would like to now introduce Katie Sheets, who is our trauma director.
Good morning, y'all. Again, just want to say thanks to everyone who's here today. It's been a long road, and it's been fun, and it's great to be able to share this with all of you this morning. Just want to talk a little bit. Our trauma team isn't just our clinical staff. In order for us to be able to take care of our patients, like Mr. Willie, we have some people behind the scenes that oftentimes you don't get to see. So I want to talk a little bit about them and some of the things that they do. So there's many roles that have roles in the trauma program. They range from supporting families who are dealing with life-changing situations, assisting patients with resources, abstracting data for research, and performance improvement. Without our dedicated trauma social worker, Ashley Woodward. Ashley, if you could please stand, please. We wouldn't be able to assist patients and families to their life after their trauma event. Ashley's developed the Screening, Brief Intervention, and Referral for Treatment program at North Oaks Medical Center. This universal screening is performed on all injured patients to ensure interventions and opportunities are provided if they wish to seek care related to substance abuse. Ashley has performed hundreds of assessments and also provides assistance with resources in the hospital for our patients post-discharge. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Keith Kincaid. Him and his team are our pastoral care team, and they're a big part of our patients' lives and also for our staff's lives as well. Mr. Keith couldn't be with us today, but I wanted to recognize this team as they are such a blessing to our staff. In 2015, North Oaks Medical Center developed a pastoral care department with Chaplain Kincaid as its leader. His goal was to heal the whole person and further the philosophy of holism. Holism is more than certain actions performed or words spoken to a patient. It's a method to ensure care for all parts of a patient and staff. Mr. Keith takes call 24/7 in case we have a seriously injured patient that comes in. He holds the hands of our grieving mothers, and he's the rock that our trauma team has to lean on during rough times. So we really wish that Mr. Keith could have been here today, but we appreciate him. And once our patients are discharged from the hospital, that's not the end. We still get to see our patients as they go through their continuum, and they're seen by our shock trauma team clinic team for follow-up care with Aaron Bateman. Aaron, if you could stand again. Aaron plays multiple roles in our trauma program. This continuity of care assures our patients receive the best care through every step of their healing process and helps them maximize their ability to regain as much of their pre-trauma life as possible. Aaron, along with our trauma surgeons, if you guys could please stand. Dr. Duchesne, Dr. Duke, Dr. Robledo, and Dr. Nelson. These guys treat our patients like family. They laugh with them, they cry with them, they call them at home to check in, and work with them towards a common goal of healing. And I'd like to also recognize Melissa McDonald, Ashley Monet, Emily Bertrand, Katie Husser, and Lindsay Higgins, who's part of our shock trauma team clinic staff as well. If you guys could please stand, and thank you for your continued support. And finally, near and dear to my heart is our trauma program staff. If you guys could please stand as well. Amy Brown, Candy Berner, Tyler Brignac, and Miss Kathy Grove, please stand. It's because of their hard work and dedication that the entire shock trauma center and team is set up for success. They own our trauma registry, which is an important management tool that contains detailed, reliable, and readily available information needed to operate a trauma center. The registry is actually the foundation of our trauma center. From this registry, we're able to get data collection, performance improvement, and injury prevention, which affects all of us. It was actually noted as a strength in our American College of Surgeons verification. This is something that we start off with. It lets us know about staffing. It lets us know where we're going. It lets us know where our community's going. So guys, I just want to say thank you for all that you do. I could sit up here and talk about them forever. There's so much that they do, but we appreciate you. So what I want to say is there's many team members that assist in the day-to-day functioning of this, now verified and designated Level 2 Trauma Center. We appreciate each and every one of you and will continue to bless and save lives in our community. On behalf of Dr. Duchesne and myself and the entire North Oaks Medical Center team, all I got to say, guys, is thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate everything that you do for us. And I'd like to next introduce our next speaker, Ms. Paige Hargrove. She is the Executive Director of the Louisiana Emergency Response Network, and she was a huge partner with us in developing our regional trauma system. So Paige, if you can come on up.
Good morning. As Katie said, I'm Paige Hargrove. I'm the Executive Director of the Louisiana Emergency Response Network, also known as LEARN. I'm thrilled to be here with you this morning. On behalf of the LEARN Board of Directors, I would like to congratulate the whole North Oaks team on achieving the Level 2 Trauma Center designation. This is an outstanding accomplishment that took years of hard work and commitment. LEARN was created in 2004 by the Louisiana Legislature to develop and maintain a statewide system of care coordination for patients suddenly stricken with traumatic injury or time-sensitive illness, such as heart attack or stroke. LEARN's system of care coordination also serves as a vital healthcare resource to the state during larger-scale emergencies or natural disasters. When LEARN first began in 2004, there were 2 trauma centers in the state, a Level 1 trauma center in New Orleans and a Level 1 trauma center in Shreveport. This map, she's good. This map depicts what the state looked like in 2004, so you can see the huge gaps. And just to note that the state is divided up into 9 regions. These 2 trauma centers provided 1.4 million citizens, or 31% of the state's population, with access to a trauma center within a 60-minute drive time. Given the dearth of trauma centers in the state, one of LEARN's strategic priorities is to facilitate the development of a comprehensive statewide trauma network that includes a state-designated trauma center in each of Louisiana's 9 regions. And this map depicts that goal. As indicated on the map, accomplishing this strategic priority would place the majority of Louisiana citizens within 1 hour of a designated trauma center. Assessing definitive care within 1 hour of injury, often referred to as the golden hour, is a nationally recognized best practice in trauma care. Through hard work and collaboration, 2 Louisiana hospitals in recent years achieved the Level 2 Trauma Center designation: Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center in Baton Rouge and Rapides Regional Medical Center in Alexandria. And this next map shows those additions to our trauma system. So you can see that we're making progress, and we have a string of trauma centers across the middle of the state. Still have work to do. So today, we're here to celebrate North Oak's Trauma Center designation, becoming only the 5th trauma center in the state of Louisiana. And I was also happy to add this additional link onto our system. So you can see we're filling in the holes, and your new trauma center now provides vital care within the golden hour to citizens in this area who previously may have had to travel to Baton Rouge or New Orleans to receive definitive care. We can now all say with great pride that North Oaks offers the communities it serves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, the best trauma resources in the region. It is a tremendous achievement for the North Oaks team, for this region, and for our state. LEARN is proud to support North Oaks and looks forward to working together as we continue to build Louisiana's trauma system. Thank you and congratulations. Dr. Will Freeman is the LEARN Board Chair, and he's here to just issue a plaque on behalf of the board.
On behalf of the LEARN Board, congratulations on your Level 2 trauma designation.
And to share our closing remarks is our CEO and President, Mr. James E. Cathy Jr.
Wow, I didn't know there was that many people here. Thank y'all for, again, for the board, and this has been said, for the board, for administration, for all of you, thank you very much for being here and sharing this extremely important day with us. Also, I would like to say a thank you to our board, specifically. Juan touched on this. When we dropped this idea on the board, Michelle made her presentation, and then we introduced the board to Dr. Juan DeChesney. And that's always interesting because he expresses such a passion. He has such a passion for this service. And the thank you to our board is they saw immediately the need. They saw immediately how we could make a difference in people's lives. And even through some bumpy times, the board held, never wavered, never had a second thought about the commitment to provide this service to this region. Board members, we thank you very much for that dedication. Also, a thank you to our community partners that worked with us through this whole 4.5 years and closer to. working with us in putting this together. And the many, 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 many blue tags that are in the room that made this very important. There's two people. Let me say this. When I was walking to my chair, I passed Melanie, and I hope you are okay if I share what you said to me. And I thanked her for being here. And her words were, "This is where Jay would want me to be." And that says who the person, Dr. Jay Smith, will remain with us forever and forever and forever. This happened to be the service that just really linked to Jay's passion. And I will tell you, there are two physicians in my term, especially the early part, that drove quality in our system. It was Dr. Jay Smith and Dr. J.P. Miller. These two guys you could not pass, would not come to my office, that subject did not come up. And I thank you, J.P. and Melanie, as I've said. Jay has made a difference, not only in our ED, Jay's made a total difference in our system. And we will always be grateful, and that impact will always be there. The significance of this celebration and the significance of this announcement has been said. It is the first trauma center, level 2 trauma center in our region, in Region 9. It's only the 5th in the state. Think about that. Us from Tangible Parish, that we kind of beat up ourselves. I see Robbie Miller, the parish president, over here smiling. This is something to be very proud of a level of service that we have for the people that live in our region. It also, and I was talking to Paige, I was very fortunate in the beginning when the legislature created the Learn Network to be one of the original board members. And even though 13 years ago it didn't seem that far, we have come such a long way on their goal of having a certified trauma center in every region. That is a huge goal that the state of Louisiana set, and we're getting really close. And who's that for? That's for our citizens and the people that live in Louisiana and that pass through Louisiana. So, Paige, we thank you for the work that y'all are doing and working for all of the citizens. And the last thing is how this parallels Learn's goal with the patriots, the founders of North Oaks, our 7th Ward had, Hospital Service District number 1 had in the beginning. And that is, they believe very much that for citizens of this area, they wanted for them to have access to health care locally. And especially if that meant if it was in a life-threatening situation. We moved with this trauma center, we moved one step closer in adding what could meet what their goal was and what they wanted. North Oaks, Tangible Parish, this is something to be very proud of. We thank you, Mr. Willie, with your story. You're the reason we're here. You are the reason we're here. For all of you, thank you for such an outstanding job that you do every day. Thank y'all.
What's going on here at North Oaks today?
So today's a great celebration. We have received our designation as a Level 2 Trauma Center, 5th Trauma Center in the state of Louisiana. Really good news for our citizens. That means they can have access to care immediately here in our community and not having to get transferred to Baton Rouge or New Orleans, which decreases our morbidity and our mortality in our patient population.
Trauma centers save lives, and as a state agency, one of our responsibilities is to build a trauma system for the state. And currently, before North Oaks designation, we only had 4 trauma centers for the entire state. With the addition of North Oaks, we now, the population of Louisiana, almost 57% of the population has access to a trauma center within a 60-minute drive time, which is important because the golden hour is the most important time for a patient after injury. And the more patients that can have access to these high-level services within that golden hour, the more lives we can save.
What differentiates between a trauma center and just a regular ER?
It's a great question. There's a big difference. Response and resources are the best way to describe that. So for a level 2 trauma center, they have to have general surgery coverage, neurosurgery coverage, orthopedic surgery coverage, and other specialties 24/7, 365 days a year. And for the general surgery, for the highest level activation, they have to be at the bedside within 15 minutes of being activated. So that's very different than in other emergency rooms across the state where you have an on-call physician, but they don't necessarily have that 15-minute response time. And it's also the wraparound services. And during the program, they talked about the mass blood transfusion protocols and all those different things that help support a rapid response to resuscitate the patient in a time frame they can have the best outcomes.
How difficult is it to become certified as a trauma center?
So to become certified as a trauma center, you actually go through a pretty lengthy process through the American College of Surgeons. There's about 250 certain criteria that you have to meet in order to become a trauma center. And so you go through a 2-day certification, and where we have 2 trauma surgeons that comes in and they check out every single thing that you do. Takes months of preparation. We start preparing 14 months ahead of our survey for the surveyors to come here, and it's a pretty big deal. Really proud that we were able to accomplish this.
Previously, where was the closest trauma center located? How far away?
Back to New Orleans. So you need to go across the lake to get to New Orleans to be taken care of in a trauma situation. So we changed that, and now everything is taken care of here.
And what kind of impact is that going to have on saving lives?
Huge because of the golden hour. The care of patients in extremes is important to fix them and manage them within the first 60 minutes of the injury. So a huge impact.
The biggest impact for the community is access to care. So the quicker we can get patients here and get patients to possibly the operating room or our intensive care unit or our interventional radiology, the better we can save your life. So if you're bleeding and we can stop your bleeding in 10 minutes as opposed to going to New Orleans or Baton Rouge and it takes 60 minutes, we've saved your tissue, we've saved your brain, we've possibly saved your limbs. So it's life-changing saves that we're able to do now by having these resources available here at North Oaks. Having trauma surgeons in-house 24/7, having OR staff, anesthesia, our operating room is ready to go at a moment's notice. We always have a room open. We always have staff available to take whatever could be coming into our door. So we stay prepared continuously.
And what types of cases will the trauma center be able to deal with?
Everything. We do blunt trauma, penetrating trauma. We do from car accidents to animal accidents. We do pretty much everything here.
What is the difference between blunt trauma and penetrating trauma?
So blunt trauma refers to any accident that involves a car, involves an ATV, involves brute force to the person. Penetrating trauma is gunshot wounds, stab wounds, and those kind of injuries that are direct contact with the patient that goes through the skin. That's the difference.
On average, as a state, how often are blunt trauma and penetrating traumas? How common are they?
So 80% on average is what you see for blunt trauma and 20% on average for penetrating trauma.
The most traumas we see are related to falls and motor vehicle crashes, followed by ATV crashes. And lately we've had a spike in auto versus pedestrian incidents. I'm not really sure why. We have maybe more people in our community walking, riding bikes. We see about 9 to 10% penetrating trauma, which is gunshot wounds and stab wounds. We don't have a high rate of penetrating trauma. Other trauma centers in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, they have a higher rate of penetrating trauma than what we see here at North Oaks.
From an economic standpoint, what kind of staffing additions did North Oaks add?
We actually added staff across multiple departments to be able to support trauma. The trauma program has increased our volume with patients because we're having patients that we're able to keep in the region who are not having to transfer out. And then the care of those patients long term, they're staying in our system. So we've actually had to add staff and physicians across the emergency department, across the OR for the operating rooms, across the SICU, across the general nursing units where they care for these patients post-operatively and post that traumatic event. So it's had quite an impact. We've had to add anesthesia services, and to have all those services provided in-house 24/7 is critical. We're not just here Monday through Friday days. It's all the time around the clock that we have to have those resources available.
What is the main difference between, say, a regular nurse and a trauma nurse?
Oh, a trauma nurse is definitely someone who has some expertise and experience. They'll go through certification to be able to learn what those best evidence-based practices are to take care of patients. They learn how to treat those traumatic, most severest of injuries in that very critical time when a patient comes into our system.
Is the certification process the same for blunt and penetrating trauma centers?
It is. So the certification process for all trauma centers are exactly the same. So what makes a difference is kind of the different things you do in your communities. Because we have a lot of falls and motor vehicle crashes, our injury prevention projects focus on community outreach. We have a high level of 16 to 24-year-olds that are not wearing their seatbelts in our community. Maybe they're texting and driving, drinking and driving. And we have an injury prevention program called Sudden Impact that we work with the local high school students with, along with the Louisiana State Police. So about 2-3 times a month, we have about 32 sophomore students that come here to North Oaks, and they spend the day with us. They learn about wearing a seatbelt, drinking and driving, texting and driving, and just kind of teach them some information, let them know what they can do to change their lives. We hope to never see them here at North Oaks. Our goal, actually, number one goal is injury prevention. I hope that one day we don't need a trauma center here in North Oaks. That would be wonderful because that means that lives are being saved and people are wearing helmets and people are wearing seatbelts and people are having a plan and a designated driver and they're not playing Pokemon Go and those kinds of things.
What types of other outreach programs does North Oaks have?
So we also have child safety seat checks where you can come here with anywhere from infant all the way to booster seats to check and make sure that your car seat fits correctly in your vehicle, and not only that, to make sure you have your child in the right vehicle. We do fall screening and prevention. We do ATV crashes. It's another thing that we see a good bit around here. We have a lot of rural areas around here, a lot of four-wheelers at night, a lot of four-wheeler riding and drinking going on, and so we do focus one whole month on just ATV prevention. And one of our big events we'll be doing September 10th is Play It Safe, which ranges from any safety thing you can think of from the ages 0 to 12 years old regarding home safety, car safety, community safety. We'll have about 25 community partners there. Hopefully we'll be able to have some helmets to give out to our children for bicycles and all kinds of goodies for them. So that's one of our big events coming up September 10th.
Tell me a little bit about who has partnered with North Oaks to make this trauma center happen.
So the biggest thing about becoming a trauma center is also becoming a trauma system. And so we have many community partners. That includes Acadian Ambulance, and we also have 4 other EMS providers in St. Tammany Parish that transfer severely injured patients here as well. So we work with them on education, training, on triages and protocols, on community-wide disaster drills. And so our EMS partners are huge and play a big role in making our trauma system within Region 9 successful. Along those lines as well, we work with other community partners. So we work with Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. We raise awareness for organ donation.
What type of impact does a trauma center have on organ donation success rates?
So the thing about a trauma center is we do have seriously injured patients that are here, and unfortunately sometimes those injuries are not survivable. Being part of the Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency gives our families the option of giving back. If they choose to, they can get with LOPA and they can decide to donate their loved one's organs, and so a part of their family is able to live on even though that their family member can't be here anymore. What we do here at North Oaks is actually every April we celebrate Organ Donation Month, and we invite those families back to North Oaks so that they can be Back here, we do a butterfly release as in remembrance of their family members. We let them spend time with our caregivers and our nurses and our staff so that they can kind of help to, as a family, heal and close from those wounds.
I really just so excited about North Oaks' achievement. They have a great team, and this is going to be great for the community and Region 9.
And where can people get more information?
You can go to our website at www.lern.gov.
Okay, if someone wanted to find out more information about this, how would they go about doing that?
Okay, the way they could go about doing it is to dial 985-230-6555 and speak to our hospital spokesperson, Melanie Safuto, and she can tell you all about our program.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about today's event?
The only thing else I would like to add is that on behalf of all of our North Oaks staff, we're thrilled to be able to have our North Oaks family taking care of your family and to have this available. So we're here if you need us. We hope you never do, but if you do, we're here for you.